Shalom, all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachah, Quadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect Akim that teach in this word. Shalom, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachah, Quadash. Now, as you can see here, this is just an article that I came across, right? And it says, the UKUS. What is the UKUS? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. The UKUS submarine deal, and what does it mean? The key facts, because I believe Australia and the United States and the UK, which the United States we know is Babylon, and the UK are basically funding Australia with pretty much more weapons, basically nuclear capable submarines. All right, which we know that the World War III, which we're coming into, which will take place, is going to be a nuclear war. And we know Australia is pretty much sides with the UK and America pretty much. We know that against who? Against China, Russia, Iran. So World War III is brewing in the backgrounds, man. We can't forget this. These things are happening. A lot of things are happening. All right. So let me read this here. It says, the four-phase plan has made nuclear arms control experts nervous. Here's why. The AUKUS nuclear submarine deal will cost Australia up to 368 billion. In a tripartite deal with the US and the UK, Australia have unveiled a plan to acquire a fleet of up to 8 nuclear-powered submarines, forecast to cost up to 368 billion. Between now and the mid 2050s, Australia will spend 9 billion over the next 4 years. From this year, Australian military and civilian personnel will embed with US and UK navies, including within both countries, submarine industrial bases from 2027. The UK and the US plan to rotate their nuclear-powered submarines through HMAS Sterling near Perth as part of a push to step up training of Australians. The imperative: increased Chinese naval power and assertiveness, particularly in the South China Sea, has convinced the Australian government that it requires submarines capable of operating far from home bases, both as a deterrent and for attack capabilities in the event of a crisis. The current fleet of Collins-class conventional submarines are expected to lose their edge from the 2030s. Nuclear-powered submarines have a distinct advantage over the diesel-electric boats of Australia's fleet because they don't need to surface to snort to recharge their batteries. Nuclear subs can leave port and stay underwater for weeks, avoiding detection. So it's basically more high-end technology, basically given to Australia through who? The US and the UK, basically. Why? To arm them up for this coming World War III that we're coming into. All right. So it says Australian military and civil personnel will embed with the allies navies. US nuclear powered submarines will increase their visits to Australian ports, with Australian sailors joining US crews for training. From 2027, the UK and the US plan to rotate the UK Astute class submarine and up to 4 US Virginia class submarines through HMAS Sterling. I mean, this is the point pretty much. They're going to be, well, look what it says here. It says US Virginia class crew, 135 in the crew, weapons 22, vertical launch tubes 12, torpedo tubes 4, total weapons 38, displacement. So this is basically the machinery they'll be giving them, all right? Which, remember, it said nuclear-powered submarines, basically, all right, for this coming World War III, man. And we know that this World War III is going to be fought by what? The glistening swords, basically, all right? So this is what the time we're in. So, we can't, fall asleep to these things that, we're on the edge of the collapse of this society and, World War III, man. But we know that the MOTB has to land also, we're close to that. So this is Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, the second woe represents what? The second woe represents World War II. So it said the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So the Second World War is already past, all right? And the Third World War is approaching speedily, which is what we're coming into now. And the Third World War is going to be fought with what? The nuclear missiles, man. All right? I can't remember who it is that said it, but there was a quote where it said, you know, if there was a Fourth World War, it'd be fought with sticks and stones. Why? Because the war to end the wars, which is going to be this Third World War, is going to be what? Fought nuclear, man, which is going to burn everything up. All right? But primarily, the Third World War is primarily to destroy Babylon the Great, which is America. All right? So let me read this here. All right? Because this is the time that we're coming into. This is 2nd Ezra 16, and I'll go from 1. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon, all right, America, and Asia. Yeah, China, the South China Sea. China, you know, them countries over there that are in line with China, all right? Babylon, which is America, Babylon the Great, and China and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. This is talking about basically all the countries near and in the world, basically. Woe means destruction. So woe but be unto thee, Babylon, America, and Asia, China, you know, Iran, places like that, basically. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Beware your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. Yeah, because why is there destruction at hand? Because they're going to all destroy each other in this Third World War. But primarily, the main woe is going to be upon Babylon the Great, which is America, right? That's the main place of woe. The main place of destruction is going to be in America, all right? Because America is going to be totally nuked from one end of America onto the other, all right, by way of these nuclear missiles. So it says, gird up yourselves with sack, gird up yourselves with clothes of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand, all right? A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? Yeah, missiles, the nuclear missiles from, you know, the silos, nuclear missiles from them silos, missiles from the submarines, you know. There's even nuclear missile capability that Esau has within the sea, man. All right. There's silos in them seas too, man. They're everywhere, basically. You know, so they're going to be shot off. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? Yeah, so nuclear missiles are sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Yeah, a fire is sent among you. All right. And who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you. And what is he that may drive them away? And plagues that are sent unto you is what? The nuclear missiles, man. All right. And who's going to turn them away? No one, because the Lord set them off and they got to hit their targets. So they're going to hit China. They're going to hit the UK. They're going to hit America primarily. They're going to hit Germany. They're going to hit Russia. They're going to hit all parts of the world. That's how this war's going to be fought. It says, may any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it have begun to burn? All right, and the answer to that is no. When fire begins to burn, you know, in the woods and stuff, what happens? It spreads. Just why you get them, you know, them Australian bushfires. That started from, you know, one fire in the bush somewhere that spread all throughout the forest. So it spreads. So it says, may any man drive away. So it's metaphoric. Look, when them missiles are shot, who's turning them back, basically? Or may any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it have begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? And the answer to that is no, of course not. When an archer shoots his bow and arrow, you ain't turning it back. It's been shot off, man. All right? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? Yeah, so Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai is sending these plagues, all right, for his delight, man, for his purpose. See, this Third World War that we're coming into is for the Lord's purpose, man. The fact that the UK and the United States are helping Australia with, you know, nuclear-powered submarines, who's doing that? Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai is doing that. He's gearing up the nations for war, all right? He's gearing up them Western nations that side with the nations that side with America against the nations that side with Russia. All right. But ultimately, they're all going to destroy America, by the way, ultimately, which is prophecy. So let me read this one here. This is 1 Peter 4 and 7. I'll read this here. 1 Peter 4 verse 7. Okay. 1 Peter 4 verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Yeah, the end of all things is at hand. All right, the end of what? The end of the world, the end of this society, the end of this kingdom is near. The end of this kingdom is near. All right. Why do you think we're seeing now? There's the problems that we're seeing with the banks. A lot of these banks, all of a sudden now, which we know is biblical prophecy, basically they're talking about going digital, man. There's problems in the banking industry, which we know is all a setup because they're going to ultimately go digital to push their MOTB, man. And we're watching that. So it says, but the end of all things is at hand. The end of this world, all right? We're close to it. The end of this kingdom, the end of the reign of the so-called white man, basically, man. The end of this place, all right, is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And how are we sober? We're sober-minded by basically following what the scriptures say. That's how you become sober. It ain't talking about, being drunk, basically. Well, it is in metaphorically. Don't be drunk with the philosophies out here. Be sober-minded according to the scriptures and watch unto prayer. So every day we hasten in the end. We praying for the Lord to return, man, which we know we're getting close to that. All right. And when we see the UK and the United States, funding more weapons for Australia, nuclear submarines, we know that's, it's prophecy that they're all linking up for this great battle, basically. So the end is near, So, with that, I'm going to say all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruach Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect Akim that teaching this word. Shalom Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruach Kwadash. Shalom, shalom.